Today in VlogCast Podcast, we were all told that sleep schedules are essential in life. But what exactly is the recommended amount of sleep needed, and do you even need one?
At the end of the day, it would improve my health.
Simon thinks he could easily change his habit of sleeping really late. The question is, could he? Breaking bad habits can be difficult, no matter how hard you try. So what are the best ways to escape this situation? All of that and more coming up.
Garbage Vlogcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of VlogCast Podcast. I'm your host, Raphael, and you might be wondering to yourself, why can't I sleep? You know, there are those nights wherein you just lay down on your bed and just for some reason you can't, or you don't want to sleep, you want to get this work done, or you want to, play this game for a couple of minutes or so, or just chat. Well, today we're going to be answering that, as well as the question of how can you stop bad habits from happening. To give you an idea of how widespread a lack of sleep schedules is, a recent study sheds light on how crucial it is for adolescents to get enough shut-eye. According to a study conducted in 3 Midwest high schools, 91.9% of 9 to 12th grade students are not getting the recommended amount of sleep, which is around 9 hours. Astonishingly, 10% of those are getting less than 6 hours on weeknights. Inadequate sleep is linked to various issues. A whopping 93.7% of students reported feeling more tired throughout the day, affecting their ability to pay attention. But that's not all. Some students resort to harmful habits to catch some Z's. Approximately 6% admitted to taking sleeping pills, 5.7% resorted to smoking a cigarette, 2.9% even turned to alcohol in the evening. The study further revealed that students with fewer hours of sleep were significantly more likely to report increased stress and were at a higher risk of being overweight. Oh, that's too bright. Okay, so how much sleep should we be getting? Well, we've all been told to sleep around 8 hours, and apparently experts have said it kind of depends. People over 18 above should be getting around 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Now, note that this is a range, and it can differ from person to person. Or people who are a bit younger, for students, at least if you're getting 6 to 6.5 hours of sleep, well, you're considered sleep deprived. So for newborns, the recommended amount of sleep is 14 to 17 hours a day, which is more than half a day. And for the elderly, they actually get less sleep during the night, but they tend to go ahead and nap during the day. So what are the things that you can do in order to sleep early? Well, before bedtime, many experts have said to actually not use your phone or anything with screens on them for around an hour. Eating is another reason why you shouldn't really eat before bedtime, and I think many people do know that. Fun fact, you can sleep during the day, aka a nap, for around 30 minutes to improve your sleep and bedtime. And also make sure that where you're sleeping is actually comfortable. That's the most important part, because if it isn't, then you're of course not going to get a good night's rest. Also, going back to the thought that I had when I first started is, what if, you had a ton of thoughts? That's where journaling comes in, because journaling apparently helps offload that energy onto your notebook or onto a piece of paper, rather than stay in your mind during bedtime. However, despite all of these tips and tricks in order to catch some Z's early, there are just some, old ways that won't go away that easily.
Good day, I'm Sopish, or better known as Simon, and I was the guinea pig for this experiment.
A couple of weeks ago, I noticed my friend Simon was caught up in a rather unhealthy habit. Even though I'm in the Philippines, I'm pretty far away from most of my friends, which usually resorts us to using platforms like Google Meet or Discord.
We just have fun. It all started when we were just like in Minecraft, and then it evolved to Meet, and then in Meet we just talk about literally our life, like my life, Ralph's life, Soap's life, Thea's life.
Hi, my name's Thea. I'm a friend of Raph. I like Soap and Dheel.
Although also during concert we really did forget to mention Usually Thea and Soap fight while me and Raph just like, listen,
Oh, me being better than you. Thank you so much. Like, I
Oh,
know
being
you
better at
finally
what?
admitted it.
Spending your goddamn
I'm
money on fucking
so-
nothing?
I'm
You're drinking
so
air!
proud.
bashing each other back and forth. And like me and Raph are just like, oh, how are you? How's life? How's college? You know?
In
You
life,
are a
like,
moron.
It had this nifty little feature that listed out the participants and the duration of their attendance every time it ended. It became a notification wherein I saw, from time to time, until I started noticing a pattern.
I once remember Raph like showing me, because every time someone uses the Google Meet, Raph Meet for us, for it to be unlimited and stuff, there's usually a log and it says there like the time and how long you've been there. And girl, it's hours on end, like hours and hours and hours on end. Like Soap and Thea, go pop off, girl.
Despite being oceans apart, Simon would stay up until the early hours of the morning chatting with Thea until she sleeps. The notifications sort of became a timestamp, for their late night conversations. And on more than one occasion, I find myself receiving the alert while I was in my morning class. It was 10 a.m. here in the Philippines. And what do you do for 12, 13 hours?
yip and yapping nonstop.
And argue.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Soap just adjusts to Thea's time a lot, making him sleep late, even though they're in different time zones, which is unhealthy.
Before the bed, it was really bad.
His sleep schedule is
It was bad.
When I said I meant actual like it's bad.
The way he would literally sleep at like 6 in the morning the next day.
I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not even gonna kid you not, it's true. It's
On weekends, it's like he doesn't sleep at all.
On school days, I would sleep at like, on average, 12 to 2 a.m. And then wake up almost always at 5 a.m. on the dot. And I only got my sleep back on the weekends. My sleep schedule still slept.
In an attempt to help Simon establish a healthier sleep schedule, I devised a challenge to help him break free from those late-night conversations with Thea.
The basis of it was, do not sleep past 2 a.m.
To ensure Simon stuck to the challenge, Thea became his accountability buddy.
Basically, my job was to monitor whether he would message me like past the given time that he was already meant to be asleep. If he did message me, or if we were in meets and it like exceeded that time, then it would qualify as like him failing the bet.
And additionally, I instructed Simon to install a sleep tracker on his phone to validate and monitor his bedtime. So we had prepared 2 spreadsheets for the challenge. One was for Thea, where she would document every interaction with Simon past his bedtime. And the other was for Simon, who had to declare how much he had slept each morning. What were your challenges during this time, during the experiment?
So, like, the challenge itself is not that hard. It's just sleeping on time. What I found, like, to be the most just, like, not easy was doing the whole routine of waking up, screenshotting, and then dealing with the whole Google Docs thing. And, like, with the whole motivation thing throughout it, I just wanted to prove you guys wrong. That's about it. And also because, yeah, it is good for my health to have a good sleep schedule.
So I had to like use this like form that Raph like provided, and basically it was just like a checklist, like, oh, did he like message you or interact with you in any way past this time? If no, then I just like submitted no, and then if yes, I had to like provide a screenshot of like the time or like the message, like, just the timestamp for proof. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting how consistent you were throughout the first few days. Now, this is where it gets interesting. On the second week, I gradually made his bedtime even earlier. So it would go from 1 a.m. to 12 a.m. up until 11 p.m., which is a huge difference from 7 a.m. So for the remaining days of the challenge, he was not allowed to sleep past 11 p.m. On day 9 of the challenge, all the way up to day 12, you failed. You failed one after another, which is like,
there was this one time where he stayed up because of like the school project he was doing, and we were in meets, and then he did it again while all four of us was in meets, and we just all like witnessed him fail the bet.
I felt confident and also like actually wanting to do the challenge because at the end of the day, it would improve my health and my sleep schedule by making me have a limit on when I can sleep.
However, I just had doubts and just flat out told him, nope, I'm pretty sure you're gonna fail. And I wasn't the only one who said that.
Not gonna lie, I thought like just from day one he would fail the challenge. But honestly, I'm still surprised he went on for like more than a week. It's like really surprising. Maybe it was just his pride and like to prove you wrong. But he still failed. So Theo was like the person who like I think he was the one who believed in soap the most.
I genuinely thought he wouldn't be able to do it, and he did. He failed. Because he was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally gonna like do this challenge. I'm gonna beat y'all. I'm gonna survive, and I'm gonna do well. Well, sis, what happened? Mind explaining that to me? What would to do? It's like, oh my gosh, my pride. I could totally sleep early if I wanted to. And he did for a while. But he didn't complete the challenge. His days got extended so many times just because he can't complete it, to the point where it got forfeited. And that results didn't count. But he did do well.
The challenge came with a catch. He wouldn't receive any special treatment or compensation if he succeeded. There would not be a punishment as well if he failed. It was basically a test of determination. After the challenge concluded, I instructed Simon to continue tracking his sleep for an additional 3 days. So, during this period, he was technically free from the schedule set before him, and he could easily revert back to his 7 a.m. schedule if he wanted to. The intention was to see if he genuinely kept his word and to see if anything had changed. Now, there were times where it was difficult to get Simon to interact with the spreadsheet, so to make sure he does every day, there's a penalty for if he doesn't complete the spreadsheet. Not for sleeping late, there's no penalty for that, but if he does not complete the spreadsheet, the challenge and the experiment would continue on for an additional 1 day. It got extended and extended more, and it extended a lot. But here's what he had to say about it.
On weekdays, I feel that it has definitely improved. I haven't been sleeping like past 12 or 1 anymore. And on weekends, it was still kind of as bad because I can let go. And ever since winter break started, which was on December 15th, it went down because, no school.
You're considered sleep deprived by experts if you get 6 to 6.5 hours of sleep at your age. That's considered sleep deprivation. Do you consider yourself sleep deprived right now? And have you considered yourself sleep deprived before?
Right now, no. But before, definitely. Because I thought 5 hours was good enough, but you said 6. That's sleep deprived. I was very sleep deprived.
So, are you sleep deprived?
Yeah. At least I'm not in denial, like
Those who are listening who are experiencing the same problems, let's say, having a bad sleep schedule and whatnot, sleeping as late as like 7 a.m. or whatnot, at times 5 a.m. What
Yeah.
do you want to say to them?
My best advice for you, if you ever want to start fixing it, is starting now. Start having like a time where you sleep and then try to stay consistent by it and always try to be consistent with it because consistency is very important when having a good sleep schedule. Yeah, so try to keep up with that.
don't sleep late and keep track of your sleeping schedule and follow at Thea.litter on Instagram.
Research says that it takes anywhere between 18 to 254 days in order to break a habit. But Soap, well, although he did not break his habit, he did improve it in some sort of way, which I guess is a good step forward. Oh, by the way, I've been interchanging Soap's name with Simon and Simon's name with Soap, and everyone else had done that in this episode, so apologies for that. Now, here are some ways to break bad habits, both according to research and according to what I've seen with Simon. Basically, identify your triggers. For Soap, it was merely the fact that he was talking to Thea. Now, I'm not saying that Thea was the sole cause of Soap falling asleep that late. He has and always had a very bad schedule prior to talking to her. But them talking in ungodly hours basically is considered a trigger. So we had to remove that. Number 2 is finding an accountability buddy. Well, for Soap, it was basically assigned to him, but finding an accountability buddy can be very useful in terms of making yourself be more accountable in terms of your progress into breaking that specific habit. You can try number 3, which is trying to change bad habits with good ones. For example, and it's not with Soap. So let's say an alcoholic may trade alcohol with non-alcoholic beer or even kombucha. That's what I've seen. If there are 2 things you should take away from this episode, it's that 1, you should never give up, and 2, you should stay consistent in your goals. Recognizing that you have a bad habit, or it can't be just that, it can be a problem in your life or any situation. That's a good step forward. However, taking action, that is a huge leap forward. That's the end of this episode of VlogCast Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and if you think that it brought you some value in any sort of way, please click the like button, subscribe, and then turn on notifications so that you don't miss another video or episode when we do decide to release one. As for that, I'm out. I'll see you in the next one.
Oh my gosh, Raph, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot I'm supposed to refer to him as Simon. Simon. Oh, that's so weird.
You see that big
Okay,
red button?
watch.
You should press that. You should demolish that thing.
Like this
You
video
should-
and click
you
the
should-
notification bell so you won't miss anything.
Touch-
and yeah, that
touch
video,
that.
video right
You should
there.
touch that.
Yeah, you
That's
should-
pretty good to touch.
That sounds really wrong.
You
Go
should
watch.
touch this too.